Never do this when building a house. If you're going to build a house, never, ever, ever do any of these 17 things, because some of you are thinking about buying a new house or even building a new home. Now, this process can be super rewarding and even profitable. On the other hand, it can be a total mess, a money pit, or a cause of anger, of frustration, and possibly even divorce. So if this is your first time here on my YouTube channel, I just want to say to you, welcome aboard. If you've subscribed already, you already know that there's a ton of super helpful videos here on this channel to help you to avoid the pitfalls that are costly. So if you're ready, give me a thumbs up and let's dive right into it. So I'm doing this video to help you because I have seen it all, and there's many things that you really need to know before you build that house. Now, of course, there's no way to cover every single scenario in just one video, but this is a super solid list of 17 things that you're not going to want to do. So if you've ever built a home once before, or if you've never done this before, trust me when I say this, it's better to learn from someone who has already done this or who does this every single day. Now, my real estate team has helped thousands and thousands of people, and I don't want you to have that regret that some people end up having by making the wrong decisions or not having the proper guidance. In descending order, number 17. Now, you may not like this, but don't tell your friends and family what you're doing. Now, trust me, I know you're excited and I get it. But today, everybody's got an opinion, right? But I've seen some friendships that are ruined in a second, and family feathers that are completely ruffled because the house that you picked out, the colors that you picked out, the cabinets, the floors, and even the style of that home. Trust me, when you're building a house, it's not about them. It's about you. And this is your time. This is your home that you're going to live in. This is the home that you're paying for. And you should feel good about that. You should feel good about building it, and you should feel good about what you pick out and what you like. Because if they hate it, even though you're the one who's paying for it, trust me, they're going to tell you. Number 16, help. Now your friend says, oh, call my brother, they can help you do that. Just fill in the blank, whether that's plumbing, electric, it can be trim work, a realtor, whatever it is. If that job doesn't turn out to be great, you may be looking for another relationship or trouble with your friend. Number 15, inspections. Never buy a new house and think you don't need to have an inspection before you move in. Just because it's new and you got a 1-year warranty, don't set yourself up for regrets. The warranty that the builder gives you and stands by is only as good as if they stand by it. In addition, the big hassle is when you move in with your furniture and your house set up, you don't want a bunch of repair contractors coming and going on their schedule, not your schedule. And even the big name builders, this stuff happens. Trust me. I know the good, the bad, and the ugly. Number 14, custom homes. Never build a custom home and not pay very close attention to all the building allowances. Don't let it happen to you. The game that builders will play is a super low number of budget for lighting, for trim, for flooring, you name it, just fill in the blank. After the contract is signed, the buyer picks out all the actual home finishes and the features. And if that item exceeds that allowance, which it usually does, you're responsible for paying that difference, guys. I've seen people who are shocked when they're paying $25,000, $50,000, even $100,000 over actual building costs. Trust me, this stuff adds up quickly, especially if there's multiple items to go over. So make sure the allowances are realistic and relative to the quality of home that you're going to want to build. Number 13, mortgage. Don't sign a contract for a new home with fluctuating interest rates, because that rate that you end up paying could be much higher interest rate when that house is completely built. Number 12, taxes and insurance. Don't build without fully understanding the true cost of the actual property tax and the homeowner's insurance. What's it going to cost? And the utility costs. Don't get blindsided. Number 11, communities and neighborhoods. Now, don't build in an HOA unless you fully understand the health and the financials of that community before you get involved. Make sure you have thoroughly investigated to see if there's any pending litigation or if there's any assessments coming in the future. You want to make sure you read the last homeowners meeting minutes, and you want to see what the problems are in the neighborhood. You want to know what you're getting involved with before you're getting involved. Number 10, builders. Never trust a builder. Don't laugh. Look, get everything in writing. Now look, there are some very good builders. On the other hand, there's some scoundrels and schemers. So having the right builder can be a dream. Choosing the wrong one can be a nightmare. Also, don't close unless you're 100% happy. Number 9, builders' financials. Look, check the builders' financials thoroughly. Check with who they bank with. Right now, I know multiple builders who have excellent websites. They're still up. They look great. They're driving nice trucks. but they are in big, big trouble. You know, if they don't pay their taxes or their subcontractors or their parts vendors, they may still be limping along. They look like they're solid to the unsuspecting eye, but the work they're performing is shoddy or very slow at best. It gets completed in bits and pieces and scraps from one house to the next. You don't see the bad reviews online because current homeowners are trying to get their houses built and they want it done. They don't want to complain. You know what I'm talking about. Some unsuspecting buyers, they think they're saving money when they go directly to a builder. You know, I know one lady who went directly to a builder and she chose that builder on her own. Unfortunately, her and her husband, it was the worst one that they could have chosen out of the whole entire bunch. I mean, this poor lady, she's whining. She's been 2 years trying to build this house since they started, and they're still not in the home. And this is an older couple, mind you. I mean, we're talking about they're complaining. They said that they're wasting the best years of their life in a rental house waiting for their house to be done. You know, and their frustrations of arguing with that builder. So this could have been avoided if they'd have worked with our team. We could have told them that this is not the one that you want to use. We have the knowledge of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because you know it's bad when the local bank comes to our team and tells them, hey, stay away from builder XYZ, you just fill in the blank. You know it's bad news when a bank comes to you and tells you how bad they are. Number 8, ceilings. Low ceilings are the kiss of death, forever. You cannot change an 8-foot ceiling. And if you can afford to do so, do a minimum of 9-foot ceilings in the main living areas, and you may want to do 10 or 12 if you can do that. In the primary bedroom, you want to do a tray ceiling or a vaulted ceiling. Yes, it's not as energy efficient, but the actual impact on energy use is very small, and higher ceilings have lower energy consumption with cooling. Now, if you ever have to sell your house, I've seen people who have made an extra $100,000 for $30,000 worth of work. It's an investment. Number 7, doors. Now, the other thing that you want to do is you want to put in a pedestrian door into your garage. This one doesn't have one. So you really don't want to have to open and close your garage doors every time you got to take the trash out or something like that. Number 6, land and building lots. Now, if you're going to build a house and you own that land already and it's paid for, you're going to go to the bank and you're going to tell them that you want to build this house. But before you go into the bank, you're going to make sure that you pull your personal credit so that you're a credible customer. And you're doing the banks a favor by allowing them to loan you money because you have excellent credit. You're the best customer a bank could possibly have. Nothing negative on your credit report, a great credit score, and you've been paying stuff off. You tell the bank your personal plans for this house, and then you tell them the land is paid for. You show them proof that that land is paid for. And you don't want a construction loan. You want a construction perm loan, construction permanent loan. Why? Because once this property is built and done, you'll have one closing on it. 30 days later, your mortgage payment will begin. This is genuinely the most cost-effective way. Number 5, small affordable house. Stay in your lane. Buy a house that you can afford to pay for. The cost of land, construction, loan, financing, materials, upgrades. Know exactly what you're getting into. Even a large tract-built spec home. If you can truly only afford $350,000, don't sign a contract for a $499,000 house. Looking back over the thousands of people that my real estate team helps who have built smaller homes because that's what they could really afford, they're more happy and grateful than those who built big homes and more expensive than they can actually afford. When you make your house a home, you're going to appreciate what you have, regardless of the size. Number 4, garages. Now, I know a lot of lot sizes are small and you can't put the garage on the front of the house, but when you build a house, if you have that option, put it on the side, a side entry, side load garage. Now, we've sold thousands of properties, and from a buyer's perspective, houses will always sell faster in resale when they have a side entry rather than a front entry. That's very important. Just remember, if you're building a house, you need a lot of driveway though, because a side entry garage, you know, that driveway has to be 23 to 27 feet wide just to get a decent sized car or truck into the garage. So many people leave their vehicles out of the garage because they don't have enough wide enough driveway to get their cars in. But everybody loves a side entry until they realize, oh my gosh, I don't have enough room for that larger pad. So make sure you pour a larger pad as well. Number 3, wasted space. Now, sometimes people miss the boat when it comes to building a house. Formal dining rooms or formal living rooms or extravagant foyers are often a waste of hundreds of square feet of space. The most popular floor plans for everyday living are the open spaces with an open living room, a kitchen, and a living area. Number 2, never buy a piece of land without getting a survey. Now, trust me, you want to know exactly where the property boundaries are. And I'm not talking about where it starts and where it ends or where your neighbors are. I want to ensure that there's nobody that's encroaching on the property that you're about to buy, because you don't want to have that legal headache of driveways or fences or storage buildings or house additions, even sheds. That list goes on. And it doesn't matter if it's a quarter-acre lot in a community or a larger tract of land. You want to know where the pins are in the ground. So make sure you have it flagged and don't have any encroachment from any neighbors. You want to take care of that before you're closing, not after. On a side note, I suggest you walk the entire property after a heavy rainstorm. You want to see where it sits and where it drains to. You don't need to be in a flood zone to have a wet property. Number one, this is an absolute crazy one. Even if you're an electrician and there's no builders that are on site and it's a Sunday afternoon and you didn't want to pay that builder for the extra $100 per plug or receptacle, don't make this mistake and try to do the work yourself. Even if you didn't tell anybody, and don't think that anybody's going to notice, because when the sheetrock is going to go on the next day, you don't think it's going to happen, right? Because you're not going to be saving money. You're going to be spending money, guys. Here's why. The building inspector, this happened. The building inspector returned to the property multiple times before completion, and the sheetrock goes on the walls. And they were going to account for every plug and every outlet everywhere in the plans. And when they find more receptacles than the plans called for, and more receptacles than the permits showed for, the inspector is going to slap a work stop order on all construction of that house. It happened. And guess what the next steps are? The enforcement officer made the builder pull the sheetrock out, the insulation out, the wires out, re-inspect, put new sheetrock in, mud in, refinish the sheetrock. More money for inspections, more money for labor and re-inspections, more money for materials. $70,000 later, guess what? The buyer wrote a check to move into his new home. Don't make this mistake. But wait, there's more. Here's a bonus item that you really need to know about. The thing you need to learn is when you're building a house, be patient. Depending on the size of the house, it's going to take between 4 to 6 to 8 months. And there's a lot of moving parts. A lot of people are touching that house. And not everything fits the first time or it goes together. Even though that house has been built 1,000 times, every one of them is different. So when a buyer signs a contract to build that house, and they grade the elevation, they pour that foundation or the slab, and a few weeks later your house is framed up. And wow, this thing's going much faster than we thought. And then you think maybe it's way ahead of schedule. They put a roof on it, the windows, and then everything slows down. It looks like nothing's happening, but you got plumbing, electric, HVAC, ductwork, flooring, trim, bathrooms. Lots of moving parts. So you need to learn to be patient. Now, some people who are building homes are about to have big regrets. Yet at the very same time, depending on your state, depending on your location, and really depending on who you're working with, there's other new home builders that are safely navigating through the storm. So you can find affordable, well-built, efficient homes and luxury homes that are less expensive than you might think. But knowing where to find these hidden gems and knowing what to look for and what to stay away from is super important. Wouldn't you agree? So wherever you are in the nation, whether it's here in the coastal Carolinas, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where I am today, or anywhere else in the United States, I have a network of real estate experts that I can hook you up with, and they will help you to find your hidden gem and also help you to avoid those pitfalls that are costly that I talked about. So pick up the phone, give us a call, 843-839-9870. I hope you're enjoying these videos because I'm making them for you. So go ahead and comment below. Let me know if you enjoyed it or if this was helpful to you in any way. And if you subscribed, I truly appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.